Hello everyone. Continuing our class hole series, in this video we're going to be looking at Eternal Inversionist. So first things first, in order to obtain this class, you will need to have completed the associated storyline relating to the Throne of Darkness saga, and you must have rank 10 in Eternal Reputation in order to purchase this class. Base enhancements are pretty straightforward with this one. You want to go full luck. However, if you have access to Ore or Forge, then here are some suggestions that you can use. The stat model for this class is Tank Melee, and the mana regeneration model is the same as Mage, which is quite nice. Moving on to your passives, your first one increases your haste by 15%, your second one increases your strength and endurance by 12%, and your rank 10 passive reduces all incoming spell damage by 40%. I want to touch on the rank 10 passive a little later on in the video. Those of you with the sharp eye may have noticed that my magical resistance is actually above 40%. The reasoning because of this is intellect actually boosts your magical resistance. So since I'm going full luck, which gives a bit of intellect, yeah, you can see why it's above 40%. Alright, so moving on to the skills, your auto attack is actually pretty unique. It's called Inverted Blade. It has a 1.5 second cooldown, and it deals only 90% base weapon damage. However, it has a 25% chance to apply Rejuvenation onto yourself, which gives you a small heal over time for over 6 seconds. Although it's only a 25% chance to apply Rejuvenation, since you attack 0.5 seconds quicker than most normal auto attacks, you should be proccing this more often. All your skills, including your auto attack, have infinite range, by the way. Your second skill is called Twisted Viper, and it deals damage to 6 targets, which is actually kind of insane. And it reduces their outgoing damage by 30% for 15 seconds. Also, all of your skills except for your auto attack target 6 enemies. Your third skill is called Ancient Wrap, and this basically increases the damage your opponents take by 25%, and it reduces their chance to hit by 25%, and applies the damage over time for 8 seconds. The dot doesn't stack, and I'm not quite sure about this, but I believe the 110 to 136 increase you saw there was from the extra 25% damage the enemies were taking. Your fourth skill is called Stasis, and it basically reduces the opponent's haste by 30% for 15 seconds. Finally, your fifth skill is called Caricature, I don't know. But it basically cannot miss, always crits, and has a 25% chance to stun your target for 4 seconds. When it comes to soloing your standard bosses, this class will do alright. It applies lots of debuffs on the enemy, which is really nice. Its solo DPS isn't the best, but the debuffs it applies will make sure that even though you have a small heal over time, which is not the best, your debuffs that you apply on the enemy will be sufficient enough for you to survive. Oh, and as for the combo, I would just go 3 and then 5 and then spam. Or maybe 3, 5, 2, 4 and then spam, because you just want to use your 3 first so that the enemy takes increased damage. So yeah, this is the class with Forge. I'm using Dauntless because not only is it good for tank melee stat model, but this class works well because if you use Dauntless and it procs, then you're basically at full haste. And being at full haste for a farming class, as you may have not heard, is pretty good. So yeah. By the way, who else remembers people using this class in group boss fights? Because other players would, drag the monster away. So people got sick and tired of it and swapped to this class just because it had infinite range. And back then, options for locking the monster position were not implemented yet. The unique thing about this class is that it targets 6 enemies, which is really good. Now obviously in this map, this is my standard testing area, so there's obviously not going to be 6 enemies, but with that being said, that's really good. Now the thing with farming is that these monsters actually hit pretty high, so that small heal over time isn't going to save you. Like, I was kind of struggling here, and the main thing which needs to be mentioned is that your debuffs from your skills need to hit. If they miss or something, then that's a huge setback for you. They're very powerful, and your debuffs are the main way for you to sustain with your small heal over time. And yeah, for the combo, I would just go the same for everything, 3, 5, 2, 4, and then spam. But yeah, as you can see, it's not the easiest with just base Forge. I mean, just with base enhancements. Maps that have rooms with 4 or more monsters that are low leveled are where this class will shine at. Obviously I'm talking about base enhancements here. But yeah, with Forge, this thing becomes really good. Not better than others since there are better 3 target AoE classes, but for 6 targets, this is pretty good. And at the same time though, if it is targeting 6 monsters, high level monsters, it'll be much harder as well. So that's something you need to keep in mind. I'd also like to take this time to just relax, you know, because it's classes like these where there's no hit this button and then this button and then that button to activate this effect, you know. It's just spam, you know, no thinking required, just mash your keyboard. Peaceful times. Support wise, this class is an aggressive and selfish debuffer. And while the debuffs are really good, it doesn't have a way of healing or buffing any of your allies, so it shouldn't be your priority. With that being said, if you're doing casual group fights, go right ahead. In terms of defense, this class is pretty good. It is tank melee, so it should be tanky enough for that, and the debuffs it applies to the enemies are also very good. And even though you have a small heal over time, you should be able to tank enough to take them down. But with that being said though, your rank 10 passive is mostly useless because most of the normal monsters are physical damage, not magical damage. And also hit chance. If your skills miss, then it's a very big burden to you because that's where your debuffs are. If you don't apply debuffs and your hit chance is low, then you're going to struggle and get taken out. Oh, and yeah, it can definitely get taken out by one-shot monsters. It's tanky, but it's not that tanky. So, final thoughts is, Eternal Inversionist is really good in the mid-game, and you can even use it in the late game as well. It's a farming class as well as a debuffer, and it's best used with rooms that have 4 or more monsters in them. And it's obvious that this class was made for Bludrut Brawl. Now, if this was the last decade, I would have actually made a video on me using this class in Bludrut Brawl, because this is where it's obviously made for, you know, 6 targets, 40% magical resistance, on top of your second skill, which gives 30%, reduces your opponent's damage by 30%, makes this very, very tanky. And also with your, with your 4th skill, reducing 6 people's haste by 30% is actually massive. You use that on a Glacial Berserker, they just basically stare at you. And also your guaranteed hit and crit from your 5th skill sort of makes me think that this class has a lot in common with my previous class that I made a video of. Infinite Legion Darkcaster, you know? Its auto attack has a unique function. You know, you use your 3rd skill and then your 5th skill to deal more damage. Your 5th skill is a guaranteed crit and hit for both classes, and both of their rank 10 passive increases their damage reduction. One is physical and the other one is magical. So yeah, Eternal Inversionist is a really good farming class, best utilized for rooms with more monsters. While its main niche is that it can target up to 6 enemies, it does it pretty well. So yeah, and it will get you through the story well. So I recommend you get this class. And that's it for this overview. Thanks for watching and see ya.